This is Christy Miller with Day 4, How to Write a Journalistic Article. And in this session, I just want to share with you some fun ideas to use this new skill for your class or your students at home. So one of the things I've done in the past is I've had them create a newspaper, the front page of a newspaper. So it requires about 3 to 4 articles, but if you use some of the ones we've already done, for example, the one that I gave them that they prioritized, the people who won the lot, it's about people who won the lottery and they are going to the mission field and they can, lots of quotes and that sort of thing. They put it in priority. Now they can write the article and they can use that on the front page of their paper. Or they can use the article of the person they interviewed in the class. They can also use their hatchet article where Brian is missing or Brian is found, either one of those. So they have lots of articles that they can use to lay out their front page. So I just want to show you some examples of what this looks like. Kids put together, they come up with the masthead of their newspaper. They put an article with a headline across the top, and then the article comes down. The rule is every picture and piece of information needs to go under the headline that they've put. So this picture goes under this headline. And then there's another headline. 2 headlines can't run into each other, so see how it's balanced with pictures and balanced with headlines. This is totally across the top. This is a 2-column headline. There's 4 columns in this newspaper. And I give them a sheet that shows them how to measure out their newspaper. I've got some of my papers here to show you how to measure out. So masthead, volume, date, and then how much is measured and how much between each column. Each column is going to be justified and indented for the paragraphs. Let me show you some of the other newspapers that the kids did. They came up with some really fun names for their newspapers. And here's another one too. I usually give them guidelines on how big the type should be. And of course, I've told them how wide it should be and that it should be justified. So they need to write their articles in columns. Another thing I've done with classes is I've had them produce a magazine. Now, if you have a big class, they could do it together as a project if you like the idea of kids working in teams and each one could be assigned a different article. But I've found that my kids kind of like to do their own magazine. So they come up with a topic that they're really interested in. For example, this young man did his magazine on scouting, and he did all sorts of articles about being a scout. I give them some guidelines. They need so many news stories. They need an editorial. They need some advertisements that look good and on the right pages. They need an interview with a person. They need, maybe they can do a creative page with a quiz or fun things like that. So you can see this person did a great job. On the front they have what's inside, and then they've got headlines, pictures, lots of color because magazines can have color, all the different articles and the interviews that they've done, and they did a quiz. And on the back can usually be an advertisement. So that's a nice job. This is one that my daughter did years ago when she was an ice skater and she loved Tara Lipinski, and so this is called The Edge. And she had a big picture on the front, and she even has the price tag and a barcode there. The inside you can see the columns, 2 columns, 3 columns, pictures. She even put you can subscribe to this magazine on it, and different articles that they've got, interviews, and then an advertisement. So you can see it's really fun to do. Kids have done it on hunting, they've done it on basketball, football, baseball, whatever sport they like, soccer. They can do it on any topic that interests them, as long as it's not violent or offensive to anyone. And they can have a lot of fun with it. They're using their journalistic skills. They're learning how to lay out a newspaper or lay out a magazine. And these are just wonderful careers too. I've had a few kids who thought, I just might want to go into journalism after doing these projects. So that's day 4. If you want any of this information in print and the packet that goes along with it, look under teacherspayteachers.com for sale for a nominal fee, and look under Christy Miller, the Learning Coach, and you can print off that packet and have it right there and then make copies of it for your students. And I hope this has been fun and helpful. Thanks. See you for the next teaching lesson. I haven't decided what that is yet, but I'll get back to you.